Welcome to Dining and Discussions with Lay. As usual, today's episode is brought to you by South Island Spice. And the cuisine for today is going to be soul rolls. I have my guest, Shanice, and Chef Mark, and we're going to be having a little chit chat today. Shanice, how about you tell our guest about yourself?
Okay, so as you said, my name is Shanice. I have been in Atlanta for 20 years. I am a personal shopper. I work with a lot of people you might see on TV, as well as just general clientele. I love what I do. I'm very proud. I've been doing this for 8 years, and I'm so excited to be here to share my viewpoints with you all today.
Chef Mark?
What's going on, y'all? My name is Chef Mark. I am a chef, obviously. I'm also a music producer and a videographer. I've been in Atlanta for about 15, 20 years. Shouts to Clark Atlanta University. And I look forward to sharing my perspective today from a male's point of view.
So I hope y'all ready. So the question of the day is, I gotta figure out how to do that smoothly. Don't judge me, y'all. So the question of the day is, why is dating and maintaining relationships such a challenge in today's climate? And I'll start with you, Shanice. Well, first of all, tell us, what is your relationship status?
It's complicated.
Okay. We all understand that.
I'm in the process of dating, so I'm weighing my options. I am kind of involved with someone on a little bit more serious than just dating, but we have not decided to be exclusive or commit yet. So I'm still, exploring and just enjoying and having fun. It's been a journey, and it's a fun journey, but I can understand how it can be difficult for a lot of people.
So in your situationship, right? Because that is such an interesting word that we have added to the whole relationship spectrum. Because, situationship, it wasn't a thing until a couple of years ago.
That's right.
Right, to my knowledge, right? So what do you find most challenging about being in a situationship, and the road to getting to an actual full-blown committed, serious relationship?
Well, I would say distraction. And I know, I'm in a position where I am weighing options, but I think it is easy for people to get distracted out here. Atlanta is a city full of beautiful people, male, female. I mean, people here are just gorgeous, So I feel like it's easy for people to get distracted. I feel like there have been times where I have been distracted myself. And, I feel like that's one of the most difficult parts of the journey. Trying to focus and hone in on your person. But at the same time, I'm the type, if I'm not getting the energy that I desire, I'm on, baby. I'm taking off, So
Right.
I don't linger. I'm not getting any younger. I feel like it's important for me to have somebody who just jumps in. So that's why I'm in the position that I'm in now. Now, about the word situationship.
Okay.
I feel like it has a negative connotation.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't necessarily call, my status or, my involvement with this person that. But a lot of people out here subject themselves to the negative side of a situationship.
Okay.
As opposed to, just enjoying and exploring the process, Yeah.
Gotcha. So what I'm hearing, and which I completely agree with, I think one of our biggest challenges is the amount of options that people have. So we tend to spread ourselves thinly, because it's almost like I don't have to sit here and deal with the challenges you come with, because I have options waiting for me. So it's so much easier to just move on to something, the next thing that we think is easier or smoother or less challenging, which may not necessarily be the case. That goes back into the grass is not always greener on the other side. And so we tend to ping pong back and forth between each other, which in my opinion creates those situationships, or it's complicated.
Yeah.
You know, because you have that connection, you have that bond with the person, but you can't really get over the cross line.
Yeah.
You know, because each of you constantly have something that's either pulling you back or holding you. What you think, Mark?
That something is crazy. I'm going to get into that in a minute. From a man's perspective, what do I view as a challenge? Both of you ladies kind of already touched on it. Expectations, whether those are fast or slow, cause for there to be challenges. We live
Right.
like in a microwave society. So everybody wants what they want, when they want it, how they want it. So that leads into entitlement too. Entitlement is huge for being some sort of like a boulder. It can make a mountain or a molehill into a mountain rather. And I think it's jacked up. I think expectations and entitlement cause for a lot of relationship problems if you combine the two. To be quite honest with you, from my perspective, as a man who is like a provider and protector and all of that good stuff that I've been conditioned to believe I'm supposed to be. So, yeah.
So my question is, and I've had these debates quite often, right? Is expectations in any level of a dealings, let's put it that way, is that wrong or such a bad thing? You know, I have expectations of you despite what our status is. Now, how many expectations I have of you vary depending on our status. But I don't want to be in a situation with somebody that I can't call on other than to just bring some dick. If you can't provide, you know, be of value in some other area other than being a piece of dick,
It's that
then
dick that
I'm
usually-
turned off. I have to be able to lean on you for something else. We have to be able to have that bond. I expect you to respect my feelings. Even if we are not together, does not mean that you were supposed to just run rampant with no regard to my feelings because, oh, we're not in a relationship, so I could just, you know, it don't even matter. Yeah, it does, because I am giving you my body. And the same in, you know, reversal. So the same way I would have respect for your feelings as a man because we have dealings, I want the same in return. So I don't think expectations is a bad thing no matter what your level of a relationship is.
I agree. I want to know what you feel like, what you feel would make high expectations or entitlement. Like, what does that look like to you?
If you pair it with what society's role is for me as a man in comparison to a woman, expectations are not a bad thing. It's just that they aren't always equally yoked. So I can, in my dating experience, and I've dated quite often in my damn near 40 years of living, it's always been like, it's been one-sided most of the time. It's like, okay, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, I want you to do this, but then where's the reciprocity? I can get that. I usually don't and haven't, and my exes will be watching this. I haven't really gotten reciprocity a lot of times. So I have to step up as a man in society to protect, to provide, to honor, to love, to fuck, and whatever I do, to cook, to be emotionally available, etc. And that makes women happy. But then if I make a woman happy providing all of those expectations that she has, she feels that because she's happy that the relationship is good.
It's good.
And that leads into, I know you've heard the saying before, happy wife, happy life. And in reality, as a man wants to be happy too. And a lot of times we don't get the opportunity to express what we need. And if we do express what we need, then you find out, at least in most cases, oh, this person wasn't equally yoked because they're not willing to provide these things. So,
You know, for me, I think, you know, it's typically, everybody's experiences in dating and in life is so different. So it's always surprising to me when I hear a man say that he was the giver and seldom the receiver. Because in my environment, I come from an environment of women who are givers and never receivers. Like the men, it's always been their world. So to see, hear a man say that, the complete opposite of what I'm used to, it's like, really?
Yeah.
You always think your world is everyone's reality, and it truly isn't. It really isn't.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. And I don't want to come off as a male basher. But, gentlemen, I need you to realize this. I want y'all to stop with the double standard, okay? Stop saying every man is not the same, but then in the same breath say, I'm a man, I know. Like, what works for you does not work for every man universally. And then that goes for women too. I realize that my upbringing, my life experiences, things of that nature, spearheaded my thoughts. And so I don't expect other women from other backgrounds to have the same wants and needs. But these were conversations that we had to have in order for me to learn that. So let's stop generalizing each other, because we're not all one and the same. We're really not. So earlier, Chef Mark and I were talking about the whole Buster scandal. Have you seen that?
Buster Rhymes?
Yes, where the girl touched his butt.
Oh, I did see that. Yes.
Okay. And then she tried to be like, oops, I didn't mean it, which was so far from the truth, because we literally seen that girl duck down and grab his butt, And yes, I feel like he had the right to react. First of all, this is not Buster's first rodeo.
Yeah.
He has made it very clear he does not like his personal space invaded and to be inappropriately touched. I don't know, maybe she missed the memo,
She didn't know.
Or whatever. And then she tried to double back and be like, oh, well, it was a mistake, but it was Buster. No, ma'am.
Can't play victim there.
You really can't.
Was she in New York? Was this a New York situation?
I'm not sure where they were, but I would imagine not, because I would think other New Yorkers know we don't like to be touched.
Nah, facts. That's what I'm like, nah.
To be talked to.
New Yorkers, we don't like,
don't grab our
don't
hand.
touch us, yo. Real talk.
Don't do any of the above. We not with it. So it's how do you feel now? Some people did say, and I think it was completely reactional, but some people did say, oh, he was wrong for throwing the drink at her. How do you feel about that?
I feel like we can control what we do. We can't control how people respond. And I'm pretty sure she wasn't expecting such a response, But at the same time, like, once you did that, you had no control over how the person responded. So, I mean, some things just really tick people off. Like, I'm from West Indian background, you know what I'm saying? We don't play, we do not play like that. You understand? So, I mean, he took it personally, and I feel like that's very rightfully so. Like, you're invading my personal space, you're touching me, in a place where, like, I don't even let my girl touch me there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure that could be
right. And that's another thing too. A lot of men don't like that booty play. Well, to each his own. But the average man, and isn't he Jamaican?
I think he is.
The average man don't play with their ass. Like, it's a no, ma'am.
Bate boy stuff.
Right.
Nah, real talk. He should have grabbed another drink and threw it.
Oh my God. Not another drink.
As like a secondary, like the first
just
drink was a warning. You know what I mean? Like, yo, take another drink, grab another drink, and throw it at her. Like, nah, you don't. It's a double standard there too. It's a double standard there. You don't touch us.
Everybody thinks that what they think is funny to other people. Like, a lot of stuff that people find funny, I don't find funny, And I'm pretty sure that was one of them. Like, I don't play that kind of stuff. He don't play that kind of stuff. Like, I would never touch a random guy, like that. If that's how you and your boo play, in the privacy and comfort of your own home, whatever, that's between y'all. But I'm sure, like, he wouldn't want you doing that in public either. You know what I'm saying? So, so to each his own, and you can't, like I said, you can't control how people respond. Do I feel like he was wrong for throwing the drink on her. Actually, no, I don't feel like he was wrong at all.
Facts.
You know, it looked purely reactional. Yeah.
Yeah, it really did. Hopefully everybody will learn, stop. I think there is this double standard a lot of women and a lot of gay males feel like they can get away with. And I've been in situations where, I've been in a club or a bar or whatever the case may be, and someone will reach out and touch me or grab my ass, and I'll turn around and it's either a female or a gay male, like, oh yeah, girl.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it was inappropriate.
Right.
And your gender or gender identification or whatever the hell you want to call it did not grant you the right to invade my personal space and place your hands on me as a stranger. And I do it to people I know.
Yeah.
I walk up to a female that I know and I might grab her on the booty like, hey girl, but we know each other,
right.
and I know she's okay with that.
Yeah.
But strangers that you're just attracted to and drawn to, it's not okay.
Yeah.
And people fail to realize sometimes the effect that it has on them. So I was in a situation one time where I was in a club in Atlanta. I'm not going to name the club, and I had on a very sexy dress, and I was walking through the crowd, and this guy literally just reached out and grabbed my ass.
Whole handful. That's crazy.
Whole handful.
Yeah.
And when the New York in me, you can take the girl out the Bronx, but you can't take the Bronx out the girl.
Sure.
And I'm come from Caribbean background too, so I turned around like, and he bucked at me like, and
What you gonna do? Oh my god.
I promise you, I just see red. And I had a girlfriend with me who's not a fighter, but she already seen it in my face. And she grabbed me and said, you can't look at what you're wearing. Meaning, had I tried to fight this man, all of my goods would have been everywhere. And so I had to realize that she was right and catch myself.
Yeah.
And literally we went to the bathroom, and we was in the bathroom for 45 minutes because it took me that long to calm down. And I promise you, I didn't wear that dress for almost 2 years. Because to me, that dress represented that I could not defend myself in the moment.
Yeah, I get that.
And it makes me angry that so many men, they say, oh, dress how you want to be respected and all that other craziness. We're in a nightclub. Yeah. What the hell was I supposed to wear in a nightclub? I feel like we can't win for losing.
Yeah.
They want us to dress like our grandmothers, but still be built like strippers underneath the clothes and freaks in bed. Like,
no, don't dress like grandma. Don't dress like grandma. But that brings up a point though, and I think that's also like real talk, like a problem in relationships too, social media, right?
Oh,
so
yes.
I'm gonna ask y'all
so.
ladies this though. Like you said, the dude came up to you and grabbed you, right? He had no right to do that. You know what I'm saying? He had no right to touch you. You feel me? But on social media, if you post like a scantily clad pic, you feel me? And then I've seen plenty of cases where women will post, you damn near naked, right? And then someone disrespects verbally. And then the woman says, you should have manners, you shouldn't talk to me like that, and etc. Like, how do y'all ladies feel about that? Do you feel like there's a common place for the woman to be able to defend herself if she's already naked on social media, if a man disrespects her verbally, or should she take accountability? It's tough, right?
It is a tough question.
Yeah.
I feel like on Instagram, it's a form of look but don't touch. You can look but you can't touch. And I understand that there are some women who, get their gains from the attention, the potential suitors, whatever, if they're displaying themselves like that. However, I believe in, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. That's just how I roll, I'm gonna just scroll past, or I'm gonna just be like, girl, you look crazy, and just keep moving. But I've never felt compelled to directly insult somebody because they choose to be, you know, sexually free, spiritually free, whatever. I've never directly or commented like, you know, you're disgusting. I'm, you know, not if it's an unkind word or phrase, I just scroll. I don't have it in me to necessarily move like that. But some people do.
Or just like praising them, for example, like praising. You know, feel me? Like if a dude comes out and he's like, "Yeah, goddamn, I'd sop it up with a biscuit," or something like that, and that comes off as disrespectful. I find oftentimes the woman will say, "Don't talk to me like that." Now, disrespect is disrespect. However, it's like, yo, like you out here, you have on 2% clothes. You feel me? And if a dude says something that is sexually suggestive, you know, the woman. She always has the right. But does she have the right in a social media setting to defend herself if she already put herself out there?
The question, does she have the right to be offended? Like, do you have the right to be offended? You know? I mean, like I said, you can control what you do, but you can't control how people respond. Facts. You know what I mean? And, you know, I feel like you, it's hard to say. People say dress how you want to be addressed. You know what I mean? But there are some people that are on a journey, like a personal journey. Like, let me say this. If I lost 50 pounds right now, I don't know what I would be posting. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I would be letting hang out. Like, I just don't know. I just know where I'm at right now. That's just not me. But when you do have a change, when you do make a change within yourself, when you feel better about yourself, you know, you want to express it in your own way. Now, does that mean she deserves to be berated? Nah. You know, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything negative because you don't know what type of journey certain people are on, and that one phrase, that one comment could be something that pushes them over the edge. And I don't want to be that person. Like I just don't want to be that person. You know.
I think a lot of the feedback is. So here's the thing. So one thing that I've said, I feel like, especially when I am posting on social media, I'm like a peacock in the zoo. I'm in all of my beautiful glory, whatever that is in that moment. Look, but don't touch. Right. You know, you just because someone comes across as sexual to you and whatever nature, does not mean that you should just say anything. I just, you know, and then on the flip side, I also have seen, you know, they say. And it goes back to, you know, dress how you want to be addressed. But I've seen men sexualize nuns. We know that. If you go to Pornhub, nun is one of the biggest, you know, searches out there. You know, I've seen a hijab is coming up. The women, Muslim women, that's supposed to be shorties.
That's filthy.
Men will using that word.
That's filthy. You know, that's filthy.
Right. Men will find a reason and a way to sexualize anything. So it's almost like we're damned if we do, we damned if we don't. Yeah. What I'm trying to figure out, or what I have been trying to figure out for the longest, is why do so many people and I see it most commonly in men, not to say that women don't do it. Yeah. But why do you spend so much time focused on tearing down and berating what you don't like, instead of putting that energy into what you do like? So I've seen people jump on, let's just say, a plus size woman's page. And they're like, oh, you know, she's fat, she's disgusting, she should take this down. Y'all are, you know, parading obesity and she shouldn't be this and shit. Okay, she isn't for you and that's fine. Yes. But why not take your energy over to another woman's page that is for you, you know, and celebrate her instead of being in this space tearing this person down. And 9 times out of 10, it's always somebody hiding behind the keyboard. Like, I be like, you have to be a truly miserable person to create a dummy troll or fake page just to go in to talk nastily about people, when you could just be spending that energy trying to manifest and attract what you do like.
Yeah, I actually totally agree. And I don't know, like troll culture these days is something that is
great word.
Is kind of like praised and you know, I mean I'm not saying I'm innocent, y'all. I have my moments too, but I don't think that I'm ever that bad. You know what I mean? Where anybody would totally find offense. I try to, at least if I have to present something, it might be something that they can relate to, you know, in humor. You know what I mean?
Right.
But ultimately, like just being so nasty, I have realized that so many people are at war with themselves that they got to start war with everybody else just to make themselves feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's, to me, that's just the way that I move these days. I have to understand, like, people are literally losing their minds. And I can't, I'm not there yet. I'm not there to where I just want to be so miserable that I just put tons of effort into messing somebody up, being mean, tearing somebody down, you know. But yeah, troll culture is a real thing, and you know, it just helps people who are miserable feel better.
Yeah. I wanna go back a few seconds though, right?
Okay.
So like,
What you didn't have a drink, bro?
oh, absolutely, 5 of them, please. You brought up the fact, you was like, because I know for a fact, I've been in your stories and I've hearted some of your pics. But fellas, if you're going to do that, you need to approach that woman and tell her. Like I told her when I walked in, I said, you look gorgeous today. You got to be able to say that. I have 2 gorgeous women here right now. And if I'm in there, if they're putting stuff in their stories and I heart it, yo, I have the confidence to be able to let them know how beautiful they are. Otherwise, you're like a stalker, son. Like, really, like, anyway, but, no, like what you said.
There is a fine line.
Yeah.
So I get, and I know that every so often when I'm in my moods, you know, I'll post risque photos or videos or whatever the case may be, and it's going to trigger or activate, you know, a couple of men, and it's okay when they give me tasteful compliments,
for sure.
even if they are of sexual nature. You know, I'm a high it off. But when it becomes vulgar,
Yeah.
like you couldn't keep it cute, sir. You couldn't keep it cute. And I often wonder what self gratification do they get from that? Did you really think that your comment, sir, was going to turn me on and make me be like, oh yeah, daddy, say it again?
I'm gonna give it up now. So can you tell the fellas, like, what is tasteful? Because a lot of men, I realize, do hide behind the keyboard. A lot of men don't have interpersonal skills. They don't communicate. So, like, what is a tasteful comment that will allow you to be titillated by what they like? You know what I'm saying? What they say.
Honestly, less is more. Like, you know, why do you
Thank
feel
you,
like you
thank
can
you.
talk to me, you know what I'm saying, just sexually or just nasty? Some guys are just nasty, you know? Like, why do you feel like you can't even speak to me like that or approach me like that? Like, what have I done to give you the green light to even say certain things that these people are saying? And, I mean, I barely post almost anything, you know? But some of the things that people just find it in themselves to say is just like, where are you coming from with this?
Right, like,
You're
excuse me,
gross.
Right, and I'll be a little bit more specific, right? So if I have somebody that jumps in my inbox and say, ooh, you nice and thick, I would sop you up. That's okay. That's okay.
That's acceptable to you.
You know, it's on the border.
Borderline, right.
It's on the border, but I won't flip out.
Yes.
You know, opposed to if they turn around and go, I just want to bend you over and stick my dick in it. What?
That's violation.
What, sir?
That's violation.
Right.
That's violation.
So a lot of it is how you say it, how you pose it. You know, why did you think that was okay? Just because I'm showing a little bit of skin. Was I supposed to then invite you over to my house?
That's what they're expecting.
No.
They're expecting for
men,
that to happen.
Men need to stop thinking that because we are comfortable in our feminine essence, comfortable in our bodies or whatever it may be, that is an open invitation. We need to get to a place, and society has taught men this for a long time, and many women, that men have a right to our bodies, and they don't. And as a coach, and of course we could talk about this forever because it goes back to slavery and everything that
Yes,
we've
it
been
does.
embedded in us and stuff like that. that we're over sexualized. Anytime that we're comfortable in our skin or comfortably sexual, then we have to be Jezebels and thoughts and all that, and that gives them a right to who we are, and it just doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
It just doesn't. I want to be able to be comfortable in my skin the same way that Becky is without the kickback.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about that double standard though?
We
Like,
absolutely can.
like I've seen situations where, women who are dating rotationally,
Rotational dating?
rotationally, yeah,
That-
like you have a
I'm
roster,
you
you
come,
have a
okay,
couple
okay.
people that you
Can
might
I roll
be
some of
dating.
these, love?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A couple people that you might be, seeing or dating. Like, if they're a certain race or a certain color, it's okay. Even the men will be okay with it. But if you're another race or another color, it's just like, you're a hoe. Like, I don't like that. You know what I mean? I don't like that, because how am I supposed to know that I like you? How am I supposed to know, like, instantly that you're the one? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
No,
And
it doesn't.
you guys don't think that? Like, I don't even think that women have to think that. But I feel like people are so deeply involved in a fairy tale, like the idea of Prince Charming and somebody to just instantly sweep you off your feet or whatever, that, they feel that you should only be dating that one person at that time, And I feel like it's important to explore and really realize, like, what you do like, what you don't like, by dating multiple, individuals until you find someone who is a good fit. And you guys make that decision to make it official. Why do women get so much,
Don't submit me there, baby.
why do women get so much trouble?
You want turkey?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Why do women get so much, get so much trouble for having a roster or dating rotationally or just doing...
And my thing, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, the timeline.
Yes.
Wasn't she just dating so-and-so?
Okay.
Ma'am, sir, that was a year ago.
Yes.
So what I supposed to do, sit in the house and continue to twiddle my thumbs because this relationship didn't work out? Like, yeah, no.
How
We're
long
not
do
doing
you
that.
feel like the timeline should be between somebody, switching it up? Like, I don't really I'm not one of those that posts, who I'm with or who I'm dating or anything like that. But there are some people who have it in their minds that if you break up today, you need to heal. You know what I mean? Like, you need to take months off. You need, like, what is the, hey, ain't no timeline for me. I'm an hour. I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Let me check
But
my
I think
DMs.
there's
Like,
a double standard for women versus men.
Of course.
The men are celebrated and expected to move right along, but if she does,
it's
it's like, yeah.
she was with him the whole time, or she, and you don't even have to post the person that you're with. It's just, if they see you out, they just be like, oh, she was just out here juggling. Like I'm dating.
Right. You don't know what I was doing. Like, and stop thinking everybody that I hang out with, I'm sleeping with.
Yeah.
That be killing me.
Truth be told, it hurts. I'm not gonna lie.
It hurts you guys?
I'm gonna speak on behalf of certain men that I don't always relate to when it comes to ego, because I view myself as a man who doesn't have an ego. But for those of whom, do, yeah, we don't want to see you move on. We want you to suffer, because you know why? We're suffering.
Yeah.
We hurt. We don't always express that,
Okay.
but we're hurting. So we want you to A, miss us a little bit, like if y'all move on, and B, we want y'all to not find the other person, which we were bringing that up. Like, that's part of the problem, I think, in dating, is that there are so many options.
Yes.
You feel me? And it's like, nah, like, I like to take my time. I like to date one person at a time, but I like for my woman to date multiple. Not while dating me, because I feel like I'm the option, to be honest with you, when I say that with confidence. But I want her to see what she may or may not be getting, and not just come to me. Because if I feel like I'm gonna rock her socks, I want her to be able to understand and have value and value me. Because if she doesn't go out and view every other man, by the time she gets to me, it's gonna be a done deal. And she's not going to value me after a while. And it happens time and time again.
I will say that's a very respectable point of view, because I've come to understand the importance of having a partner who is of sound mind, who is able to communicate effectively, gently. One thing that I can admire
Girl,
the
you
most
said a word.
about a man is his ability to go to war with the world, baby. When he come home, he is
Yo.
just so gentle with me. That is one of the most profound experiences that I've had. Like, you know, you have a partner that doesn't yell at you. You have a partner where you guys don't fight. Like, I have friends who get into physical fights with their partners, and I'm just like, girl, how?
No.
Why?
No.
Like, it's so much, like, there's so much depth and so much feeling and emotion in being able to effectively communicate with your partner
Speaking.
in a peaceful manner.
You speaking.
You know what I mean? Like, having experienced that myself, and I've never been in rah-rah relationships where, you know, we do this whole fighting thing, but when you do have someone who is very just gentle with you as a woman, oh my God, like, that's the piece that I feel like he deserves every day. Like, even when I'm in turmoil, you calm me down, like, you chill me out, you know, and you speak to me so kindly and so gently, and we're able to solve and resolve, like, major issues, major problems, but it doesn't feel like a battlefield.
So you don't take that for granted then?
Oh, not at all.
So if a man brings you peace, okay. So from my perspective then,
Yeah.
if I, let me go back. There was days where I had to work like doubles, right? Yo, there were days I would come home. Now I'm a chef, so unfortunately cooking for the women I was with, they didn't want to cook anymore. So it was kind of like, well, that's fucked up. But anyway, I come home, it'd be cold, there'd be no food, I don't smell nothing. And then, you know, arguments would ensue off the strength that I've been busting my ass all day. And then I get home, and where I may want to fuck, shower,
And go to sleep.
have good communication, maybe watch a movie or something like that, I'm not afforded that because something that bothered her throughout the day she's going to bring to me. And now I'm up at 1, 2 a.m. trying to appease her and make her happy or calm her down with something that may not have even been my fault to begin with. So it's like, yo, that's why I'm like, okay, so if a man does bring you peace, you guys really, truly, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot by this dialogue because, yo, my experiences have not been.
Let me ask you this. I know earlier you spoke about reciprocity.
Yeah.
What are you expecting to be reciprocated? So now, you said you're a chef, and I've seen families and, you know, women who do have chef husbands or boyfriends, and they never have to touch a pot or, you know, a pan.
Yeah.
But they fill voids in other ways. You understand?
Right.
So what does reciprocity look like to you? Because you guys might have the understanding that she don't cook, you know? You do the cooking.
Right.
But, like, what would you like to see? I understand you said you're a provider, you're a protector, all of that. I totally get that. But what does reciprocity look like to you? Because there are a lot of men out there who feel like reciprocity means I pay the bill, you pay the bill. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Or I pay, you know, or I do this for you, you do the same exact thing for me. I feel like men and women have different roles for different reasons.
Correct.
My reciprocity is not ideally paying the same bill that you just paid or splitting it in half.
Hell
My
yeah.
reciprocity is, you know, creating making a house a home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Rearing the children. You know, serving you in certain manners and certain ways. And I don't say that in a slave mindset type of way. Like,
That's dope though.
serving you like, okay, you know, he takes care of me in this manner. What can I bring to him to afford him peace?
Right.
What does that look like to you?
Real talk.
Great question.
Real talk. I want a woman to be her true, authentic self, right? So I don't want her to give to me what I give to her because a lot of what I bring are like a lot of tangible, substantial things. I'm a protector, provider. I want to take care of the bills. I want to. I've been conditioned to believe that, and that's what I want to do. And like I said, yo, some of my exes probably watching. Y'all know I took care of the bill anyway. So
Let them know.
I want my woman to be her true, authentic self. I want her to have willingness. To answer your question, willingness is what reciprocity looks like. So if you are willing to provide whatever you feel in your heart and your mind and your soul, you want to provide to me to help build me, intrinsically,
Yes.
not even like y'all want to break bread, because some women are breaking bread on men, and that's cool. But like, whatever you provide to me intrinsically, from your, like, I want to be able to feel it. I'm an empath, so I feel a lot of energy, and I want to be able to. I want to feel that you love and value me. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to feel like it's transactional. Oh, I paid the bills, so now you love me. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily a thing.
Yeah.
It's more so of a feeling. It's willingness.
Yes.
Yeah.
You done? All right. I want to talk about willingness, baby. Because let's get to it. Willingness is the word of the day. All right. The conversation around, how do I say, men being providers and women being receivers, or nurturers, and whatever. Willingness is the basis of it all. You know what I mean? I feel like there are a lot of guys who have conversations about, oh, I'm not doing this, I'm not giving you this, I'm not doing this for you, and it's just like, dude, like, the whole idea of courtship stems from a man trying to bring a woman into his world to eventually make her his wife. You understand? How am I supposed to know that you are that man if you're not willing to show me? If you're not willing to show me that you can be a protector and a provider, you're not willing to give. You know what I mean? You want me to lay myself out on a table, like have this, have that, and you have a mental block.
Emotional block.
Emotional
block.
Yeah.
Against showing me what I need to see as a woman to decide if you are the right man. Do you understand? Do y'all not know how much men out here be playing? Like, they will play you like a radio, honey. Like, it's crazy. And I don't like to generalize, and I don't like to say, but how is a woman supposed to know to take you seriously if you're not showing her anything serious?
Right. Here's how, though. A man is supposed to be able, I'm going to say it slow too. A man is supposed to be, and I'm a man saying this to men, you feel me? Not a woman telling y'all what to do. A man is supposed to be able to provide for himself.
Say it 3 more times.
A man is supposed to be able to provide for himself. A man is supposed to be able to provide for himself.
All right.
In that point, like what you just said, right? Like to ingratiate that woman. When I pay the bills, I'm paying my bills. Okay? Now, that's not to belittle the woman that I bring into my world, but I'm providing for her based on me being able to provide for myself. And I don't ever want a man to get lost and think that he has to provide for a woman solely. Because if you do, you're going to break your neck and possibly die trying to do that. Provide for yourself. Get your house, pay your bills, do what you do. You find your queen, have her ingratiated into your world. And by you creating provision for yourself, you create provision for her and her kids and all of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's another topic.
You got a real man on the podcast today, baby.
I mean, I'm not claiming to be,
I was just
you don't have to, but let me tell you something. I'm not going to tell you, oh, I'm a great person, I'm a loving person, I'm a wise person. Like, you have other people tell you that, you know? So if I say you're a real man, it's because you understand what it is that I feel it means to be a man. You don't have to go out saying, I'm a real man, I'm look at me, you don't have to do that. But when people hear you, your thoughts and your speech and, things that you have to say, I can tell you, like, this is what I would want from a man. I don't know what y'all be wanting, I don't know, but this is what I feel like a man is, a man looks like, a man walks like, talks like I can appreciate that. I respect you.
Well, I appreciate you very much so. I appreciate that.
Yes, King.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
Well, no, from a female perspective, like,
For sure.
Yeah.
We started all that.
Yeah, facts. But that's been some of the problems I would say, like, that I've encountered is just being what the proverbial woman wanted me to be, and like, shoot, I almost got married and all that. Like, it was crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell us about your.
I sure will.
So let me ask you 2 key questions.
All right.
3 key questions.
As many as you want, love. As many as you want.
What made you realize that she was the one? Let's start with that. Where did it go wrong? Halfway through. And what did you learn from that experience?
All right, what made me do it, I'm going to be 100% honest because my mother has asked me, other women have asked me, friends have asked me, what was it about her that made her the one? Yo, real talk, at that stage in my life, being in my mid-30s at that time, I was just trying to do what was right. Like, I wanted to start a family. I don't have kids yet, but I will have children in the future.
Okay.
I wanted to start a family. I wanted to be the husband. Being a husband is important to me. Not necessarily getting married or the marriage. I'll get on that later. So I found a woman who I thought was that. And with all due respect to her, if she ever sees this, she was not that woman. Like, she wasn't able to have children. She already had children, but wasn't able to have some by the time, I wanted some, which is fine. I gotta say this on camera, yo. So my therapist called her a narcissist, and I hate using that word, but that answers Lay's third question.
Okay.
What did I learn? But it was more so me. I was the reason why I proposed to her. I wanted to do what was right. What was your second question, love?
Where did it go wrong?
Where did it go wrong? It went wrong after I proposed. After I proposed, I noticed all of the, like I was a pawn. I feel like I was there to take her off of her family's hands.
Okay.
And all of the gaslighting and everything just came to a head. It was like all the stuff that I thought we loved together, we didn't love no more after I put a ring on the finger. So
do you feel like she, just did a major switch up? Like, or was it just you, taking the blindfold off of your eyes? Like, was it her or was it you that essentially caused you to wake up? Like,
I take full accountability. I would say it was me that didn't see it.
Okay.
So I won't blame her totally, but I will say it was me, But then I was more focused on therapy, you know what I'm saying? And she was more focused on the venues, where we're gonna get married and stuff. And I'm like, yo, shorty, let's just
Not equally good.
Right.
So, we can have a whole nother episode about that. So I'm not even going to get into it, but it was crazy. I learned a lot. I do want to get married again, though. Or I say again, but I want to get married.
Right. Get engaged again, get married.
But I want to get married with the goal of marriage not being the goal.
Right.
Okay.
I want our connection to one another to be the goal. I want what we love individually and together to be the goal. I don't want marriage to be the goal.
You don't want the pomp and circumstance. You don't want the whole idea of fairy tale weddings. You want genuine, connection, not, I want to wear this dress and look like this and just make it jump the broom. I just want to jump the broom.
Because I do believe that there are a lot of women out there that want to get married just to have the wedding and say that they have a husband, and that's it. They want the surface stuff, but the deeper, the internal, the feeling, the depth, exactly. They want all the other fluff and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I agree, and I would say, like, as one of those who have come up in the Disney princess era,
right, girl. Let me tell you,
you are so.
I
these
realized,
fairy tales, like,
and let me tell you something. To Daddy. I'm gonna tell you in front of the rest of the world, I love you with all my heart. I promise I do. But you fucking lied.
Damn.
You lied, Daddy. I promise you. So realistically, my father always taught me, and when I say father, he's my stepfather.
Okay.
But he adopted me and took me on as his own.
Okay.
And he wasn't the greatest. Let's put it that way.
Greatest,
but
like, in what capacity? Like with your mom? Like,
yeah. But so let's put it to you like this. I feel like a lot of men pump certain things into their daughters so that their daughters don't end up with men like them.
okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's what I call the princess effect.
Okay.
You gotta have a guy do this, and you gotta have a guy do that, and you know, treat you this way. And if you do this, he'll. No, good and goddamn well that on the back end, you ain't going for none of that shit as a man. You know, but you want to fill these ideals into your daughters.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why a lot of men, and it's crazy because then they be doing all kinds of craziness when it comes to dating and relationships, and they have daughters. And then when you say to them, dude, you realize karma is real. You got, oh, it ain't gonna happen to my daughter.
Yeah.
Because they
That's crazy.
think if they instill this whole princess mentality into them, that their daughters will be different from the rest of us. And at the end of the day, I tell them all the time, I was somebody's princess too.
Yeah.
It does not save your daughter from the realities of the harsh world.
Yes.
It doesn't. And then so when you add in the whole Disney princess Captain Save-A-Ho that they sold us, and then if you were fortunate enough to have a male figure in your life, because I say male figure, whether it was your grandfather, because before my stepfather, there was my grandfather. You know, my biological father died when I was 3, so he didn't really get much of a chance.
Yeah.
You know, so, but in his defense, he was a single dad when my mother met him. So had he survived, you know, or not died, you know, it would have been a different story. But prior to him, I had my grandfather. Then I had, you know, my stepfather when he wanted to participate. You know, it was unrealistic expectations from relationships and things of that nature. So I think, yes, there's a lot of that when it comes to women. We're sold to believe we're supposed to have this horse and carriage and, you know, all this other stuff. But that surface stuff really doesn't make it. And don't get me wrong. If you can afford it and you want to have it, fine. But you have to do the work
For sure.
Yo,
within
some
as
work.
well.
For sure. Now, I do feel like fairy tales are surface level.
Did somebody just ring my doorbell?
I do feel like fairy tales are surface level. I personally don't feel like Dad was wrong for telling
Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna go check the door. I'll be back.
Can I still talk?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't personally feel like Dad was wrong for telling her those things. I feel like that told her what, you know, taught her what to avoid. Like out here, there are a lot of, you know, games going on. There's a lot of, you know, smoke and mirrors. There are a lot of wool over the eyes. There's a lot of that. Wolves in sheep clothing. A lot. You understand what I'm saying?
wolves.
And you know, it's. I think he gave her a good thing to look forward to, but I feel like.
Hey, I'm sorry. Clearly somebody came behind me and locked the door. And we're still recording. No, you're fine.
Absolutely
It might
nothing.
have been my
You know,
nephew.
and they're the one out here doing the dirt because there are women in their lives who are demanding absolutely nothing, and they feel like, oh, as a woman, you know, or if you're my daughter, this is me speaking from a male perspective. If you're my daughter, you know what I'm saying? You can't go asking a man to treat you like this and do this for you and demand, you know, he take care of you and all this kind of stuff because that makes you a prostitute.
What?
We have extra guests, y'all. Don't mind them.
Well, yeah, that makes you a prostitute. Like I'm talking about, you know, the guys out here that expect women to demand nothing. You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
And you know, if you do demand anything, if you demand that man take care of you, pays your bills, whatever, if you demand that he actually courts you, take me out, show me something new, show me that why I should choose you. You know, if you're putting those demands on a relationship, you're a prostitute.
That's crazy.
What is going on, yo? Like,
Literally, that's how.
We're being shamed for everything.
Everything.
Slut shamed for everything. Gold digger shamed for everything. Sexual shamed for everything. It's like, it's almost the amount of pressure that we go through. It's almost like we can't win for fucking losing.
I hear that, and I hear that. That's unfortunate. Like, as a man who, like I said, I don't have any children yet, and I do want to have children. And when I have my daughter, it's kind of disheartening to hear this type of stuff. I have my own plight as a man and things that I feel, double standards and, you know, all sorts of things. But like, real talk, as a man who values and appreciates women, I don't like hearing
All
that.
types of things. Yeah.
Like, it's like selling wolf tickets. Like, no pun on your wolf. You know what I mean? Like selling wolf tickets. So it's kind of fucked up, to be honest with you.
It's almost like it's one extreme for the next. So I literally had a conversation with my daughter's father early, right? So I had a stepdad that sold me wolf tickets, right? But then when we had some family issues earlier, one thing that I had to say to him was the one of the things that she's missing in your relationship, because don't get me wrong, he's a great dad, right? But there were certain conversations that he doesn't have with her.
Okay.
And she wants to have these conversations with you from a male perspective,
Sure.
you know, and when she, you know, and I didn't even realize she was holding on to these feelings.
Okay.
And it actually came out, they gonna see this episode, don't kill me y'all, but whatever, y'all be alright. She was talking to one of her cousins, older cousins, and he was having a conversation with her, asking about dating and guys and stuff like that. And in the conversation, he said, well, what does your dad say? And she was like, well, daddy really doesn't talk to me about guys. And he was like, what? Your dad doesn't do what? Why not? And she was like, I don't know. And so she called her father, and she was like, Daddy, why don't you talk to me about guys? And his first reaction was, well, I figured your mother would do it. I can't give her feedback. And I can be, and one thing that I'm realizing about myself, I didn't really have conversations with my stepfather about boys either. It was just kind of like, don't have sex, don't, you know, the old school stuff. You know, so growing up, it was a struggle for me, you know, dealing with men because I really didn't know. I didn't have that, right? I had to kind of figure it out.
Navigate on your own,
Right, I had to navigate on my own because I came from the old school. My parents were strict. They didn't talk to you about a lot and all that other stuff. So,
can't talk to my mama
right,
about
you
stuff.
had to figure it out. You know, I came from that era. So I made a lot of mistakes. And I can tell my daughter things from my experience.
Right.
You know, but nobody can really tell her things as a man other than her daddy. Right? And so for him to be like, for him to leave it in my hands like, oh, well, I figured your mother would tell you. Like, really, dude? So then she said to him, well, I have certain conversations with my mother, but I still feel like I should have conversations with you. And you know what his response was? I'm almost embarrassed to say it. What you want me to tell you? Niggas ain't shit?
Yo, there's so much misandry that goes into these things, yo. Like, I've no problem with what you just said because I feel like fathers should be active in their children's lives. I also, on a sub note, feel like a lot of mother-daughter relationships suffer. But there's so much misandry in our community. We talk about misogyny a lot of times, but there's so much misandry that in our communities when it comes to what men should or shouldn't be doing, and if a man's not involved, then it's like the man just sucks, men ain't shit, and all of this. And I will say that I don't think I've ever been called shit. But
Not to your face.
that's in my face, right? But I will say that a lot of that is mentally taxing on certain men, especially men of substance or good men. Hearing that constantly, that's misandry. We don't speak about that often.
Y'all don't deserve that. And honestly, I feel like the majority, you know, they make it really bad for the minority. And honestly, it's really sad that I feel like the minority are the good men. You know what I mean? The men who, you know, actually know what it is to take care of a woman or be a man, provide for a household, like really stand in there and go to work for their woman. You know what I'm saying? And their home, you know. But there are so many, I don't know how this has happened. I don't know who they've been watching, you know what I mean, to be telling them these types of things. But it's really crazy to see how many men actually just, you know, feel like it's okay to just be nasty and miss the mark. Like, I feel like the most important thing a dad can do for his daughter is teach her about men. That is literally the most important thing. You know, when it comes to your kids, what else, you know, or your daughters, like, what else would she need you for? besides being that protector, you know, and a provider for the household, you need to make
Or
sure
give
that
us
she knows.
money.
You need to make sure she knows how to choose. Yeah, you need to make sure she
That
knows how
money.
to choose. You know.
I
Right.
came late and hearing you guys talk. I have a daughter, she's 19, she goes to 7.
Okay.
I was an ain't shit nigga.
Okay.
Because I ran into ain't shit women.
Oh.
So that made me,
Whoa.
Okay.
being the man that I was when I was younger, I was a guy who wanted a family. I wanted a lot of kids. And I wanted one woman. But I ran into ain't shit women, and then it made me bottle up. Now I'm protecting my heart.
Yeah.
And as a young man that didn't have a father, I didn't have a man to say, oh man, you know, do this, do that. Don't worry about it. Grind. What I do, my woman left me for a man that was a millionaire. She had a baby. So as a 19-year-old, how do you do that? Growing up in LA, how do you do that? And all women are, not all women, but the women there is cliquey and it's what you doing, what you doing. And nobody taught me, okay, go to college or don't go to college. Go to a trade school. Get grind. You know what I do? I chased the fast money because I wanted that woman back.
Based
So I
on.
had to get the big money.
Yeah.
So I became an ain't shit person because now I'm protecting my heart. I'm not gonna let nobody in. So I'm gonna mess with you. And then I'm not gonna let you in. And I'm gonna hit and I'm gonna run because
Hit and run, man.
I don't wanna get hurt.
Man.
So what I tell my daughter now is, being an ain't shit nigga, I had to get on my knees and ask the Lord to change me as a man. Not what everybody else want me to be, but
That's
what
hard.
God wants me to be.
Of course.
So I ran into still some ain't shit people. But the difference now is, do you really want to be a husband? What are you doing? Look in the mirror. What are you doing to be a husband? How you want Halle Berry? What are you doing to keep Halle Berry? What are you
Berry,
doing
boy.
to be a husband? You gotta practice
Right.
being a husband. You know, a lot of us as black people, from design, the white man has designed us to make the black man ain't shit.
Exactly.
He has the woman in the 70s. We gonna skip the slave area, but we gonna go to the 70s. What happened? Women can have a bunch of kids. Guess who's taking care of them? The government.
Yeah.
Giving the woman,
yeah.
each kid should get $300-400. I was
Yeah,
raised
that's
off of it,
true.
so I know. Giving the woman the food stamps and the money and telling the man, I don't want you around.
Yeah.
Then you fast forward, what happens? He's giving women the opportunity, and they get better jobs than us.
Yep.
But instead of the woman taking it and be like, babe, you know, who don't want to eat your elbow? But you don't your man to eat your elbow. You know what I'm saying? You taking a man that's working hard and he out there, but you look at him like, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. Instead of grabbing this man, taking him and making him eat yourself. And they let the woman get the better jobs, and then the women is, y'all need to get out there and get your job. Y'all need to get out there and do this. Well, how about this? Won't you get that better job? And then let me stay home and raise the kids.
Societal
say-
roles.
Yeah.
Societal roles.
But once you build each other up.
Yeah.
But what we do
Tear
the
each other
opposite.
down.
You ain't shit, you know, and then I tell my daughter, to go back to what you guys were saying, we can jump on that conversation. What I tell my daughter is, first off, we always say that you want a man to do this. You want to be independent, but don't make yourself plan A. Make that man plan A. And you make yourself plan B. If this man if you want the man to be a provider and this and this and this, then why are you being so independent? Now you ain't making the man be a man.
That's right.
You are becoming the man of the house. That's
Good
why
point.
most women are so tough, because they're plan A.
Yeah.
Make the man that you want to be your husband plan A, but you be a plan B. If the husband can't do it or if he fall off, then you go do it. While he's doing everything, don't sit your ass on the couch, or you know what I'm saying. Get your ass out there and go to school, do something. So if he falls off, boom, you the plan B for the whole family.
That's the disconnect, bro.
But it's a disconnect.
Yeah.
And we as black people, we keep the disconnect going because as soon as you get it, now you cocky. I don't get y'all. Why you don't help each other? What's the problem with helping each other?
Trauma.
Bingo.
Exactly.
That's
I just
a
said
trauma.
it. It's trauma. That's the whole problem with us.
Yep.
We trauma. We are our own worst enemies.
Trauma
We
stops
can't-
us from.
from growing, from meshing. You know, so we can't even live together. Look at this nice house.
Yeah.
Mexicans?
Oh yeah.
Hey.
All
Wait,
70
no,
of them.
let me tell you the funny
No
thing.
racism. No
Let
racism.
No, they
All
let-
78
let me
of them.
tell you the
Yeah.
I love
funny.
the idea of the village and community, though.
Man.
So
I love
let me
their
tell you
food.
the
Done.
let
I
me
love
tell you the
Mexican
funniest
food.
story, y'all. So this is my sister's house. I'm not claiming it. Yes, it's my sister's house. So she has some Mexican contractors, right? And so, and this is technically her second house. So she has another house that is a little bit smaller than this, whatever. But and it's her, well, she has 3 children. It's her 3 children. The oldest one is grown. The second one is in college, and then the youngest one still lives at home. So if y'all hear noise in the background, that's his little ass. But anyway, so her Mexican contractor came and he looked. He said, "This is too much." And she said, "Too much for what? Like, you know, in her mind, I'm providing for my children. You don't." He said, "You don't need all this." And she was like, "Why don't I?" And he was like, "You know how much family I can put in here?" He said, "All you need is to come in here, eat, sleep, shower, and go back and work." You know, so he honestly, and he's not shabby. I think he's a landscaper. And so he makes a good living.
Yeah.
But they live so modestly, like the whole family, everybody has their role. You don't need, you know, all of this fluff that we're used to, because technically at this point, this is really a 2-person household, you know, and for him, he could power half of his village in here.
Why do you think they're building so many houses?
Literally.
It's not because we're growing as a race of people. We're not growing as people. You need your own house. You need your own house. You need your own house. I need
'Cause we
my
don't
own
get
house.
along.
Because we don't grow together. So there's 10 men, 10 women. All 10 of them need houses. So you got to build 20 houses. Instead of them coming together, then that's only 5 houses.
Yeah.
But we don't do that. You know, we can't even live together.
Yeah.
You know, who did this? Who left the toilet seat? Who did this? Who got my juice?
Right.
All that. Put the refrigerator in your own room. You ain't got to worry about it.
Yep. Yep.
But we don't do that. We don't come together. That's why we don't get ahead.
Yeah.
Just
All right, y'all. Not to cut you off, sorry.
Oh, no problem.
But it's time to eat.
Look good.
So the soul rolls are ready. And of course I got my little cranberry sauce. So I'm about to plate y'all up and we gonna grub. Thank y'all for being with us today. We appreciate y'all. And we'll see you in the next episode. And in the meantime, visit me at www.southislandspice.com. Smooches.